you're the union, you got to look into why some of these workers were upset about the deal.
So on the all electrified vehicles, we see 50% growth. On the EV, we see 100% growth. So we're still doing well.
The new Toyota Prius. Yep, a Prius hybrid, which MOTORTREND describes as the gold standard hybrid.
I've just never had this with any company I've ever invested in, ever in my life, where the CEO of the company himself does so many detrimental things that it just like is destroying the brand.
All that and more, so let's get to it. We got Tesla stock up in the pre-market by just a smidge. But wasn't the stock in the 240 range? What the happened? Well, you probably know Elon happened. More on that later.
It was a vote that came down to the wire, closer than expected for the historic tentative contract between the UAW and GM. And here with the details is Yahoo Finance's Praz Subramanian. So Praz, down to the wire here.
Yeah, I mean, it's official. GM, UAW members voted to approve the deal. Slim majority here, according to the UAW GM vote tracker, 54.7% to 45.3%. A lot closer than what people thought. Ford and Stellantis right now are in the mid-60s. They haven't yet gotten their full voting in yet. So a turning point came yesterday when a big plant in Arlington, Texas, voted for the deal. This followed a number of big plants voting against the deal, with the deadline looming today at 4 p.m. Those votes were in, so good. Everyone's celebrating there for GM and the UAW. But if you're the union, you got to look into why some of these workers were upset about the deal. I spoke to an expert about it, and he said that a lot of the older workers believe that they weren't getting what they originally had back before the great financial crisis, and they think that the New Deal sort of shortchanges them to the extent that temporary workers get huge bonuses, big lifts in pay, and they think it's sort of unfair for them to not get that. So I think the leadership will look into what plants sort of had the biggest negative votes. What's the split of workers there, older versus younger, temp versus permanent? Ford and Stellantis don't have that issue with a lot of temp workers, so I think that might be what's keeping them kind of afloat more than the GM vote.
The deal is done, and everyone can kind of put this behind them, at least for the time being, because in 4 or 5 years, the landscape of automotive is going to change. How will this impact the next collective bargaining agreement? For both the Detroit 3 and the UAW, the time to start preparing for the next collective bargaining agreement was last month. So while the deal is done, there's a lot of unhappy people on both sides, mind you. But just like Sam Cooke says, you best believe a change is gonna come.
The auto industry clearing one major hurdle with the resolution of the labor strikes. Narrowly, by the way, today, that UAW contract was approved only by about 54% of members. You can see shares of the big three are down 2%. And another potentially bigger problem looms now: questionable demand for electric vehicles. Hybrids continue to outsell pure EVs in the U.S. And yesterday, Toyota announced its best-selling Camry will now be hybrid only, as Toyota has stuck with a hybrid approach. But Hyundai is charging ahead with its EV ambitions, unveiling a new model. And we learned a short time ago the company will be the debut seller of cars on Amazon. Joining us now is Jose Munoz, Hyundai Motors North America CEO, with our very own Phil LeBeau. Welcome to both of you. Phil, kick things off for us.
Thank you, Kelly. Jose, Kelly set it up there, the news that just came out within the last couple of hours, your partnership with Amazon. Explain how this will work if I am a potential Amazon customer and I'm looking to buy a particular vehicle. How will this work with Amazon?
Well, thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Phil, for having me. Well, I'm very proud that we announced earlier this morning here in the LA show this strategic partnership with Amazon, which is comprised of 3 pillars. The first pillar, which to me is the most important, is about the possibility for the consumers to buy our Hyundai products online. Not many people know that we have started this partnership back in 2018 by having a showroom experience. And then we are very pleased with the evolution. So we decided to be able to go through the end-to-end experience. So basically, the consumer can get into the Amazon environment. They can choose the vehicle they would like to shop. They can choose the configuration, the color, and actually the dealer they would like to buy from. And they can check also, obviously, the price, the incentive, and everything else. They can also finance the vehicle online, and even when the program is fully developed, they'll be able to trade in their current vehicle or even buy a CPO.
I'm torn. I'm not sure if this is good or bad, so I'm gonna play it in my mind. You're at least trying to make it easier for customers to see your vehicles, configure it, get in their mind's eye them sitting inside your vehicle from the Amazon website. Here's where I have a few hiccups. One, they still gotta go to the dealership. Maybe one day Amazon will deliver your car, which I suppose would be ideal. But at the moment, there just appears to be this weird middleman in Amazon that's going to lead you to the dealership anyway. Where once you get on their lot, they're gonna start pushing other things on you as well. Something tells me that's not gonna be a clean transition. And my other hang up, or more likely question, what does Amazon get out of this deal? And does that expense get passed on to the consumer? So from initial glance, this looks like a step in the right direction. Best to watch this play out in real time.
So we announced this program today. We're going to start a pilot phase in the first quarter of 2024, and we will deploy it through the entire portfolio starting in the second half of 2024. This is just one pillar. The second pillar is about the integration of Alexa in our vehicles starting 2025.
Ah, that's the kicker. Amazon gets to put Alexa directly into your vehicle. I'm not sure how much driving data that they'll be acquiring. We'll be able to pass on data to maybe Waymo about driving data, in addition to having constant access to the consumer of the Hyundai vehicle.
This is also a fantastic news for our consumers, that they already know how Alexa works and will be able to connect from their car wireless voice recognition system with their smartphone or with their homes to operate their home from the car.
I want to get this one question in here regarding EV demand. You unveiled the new Ioniq 5N, a sportier version of your all-electric Ioniq 5. Are you seeing demand for EVs slowing, not growing as quickly as it was before? What do you see in the market right now?
Well, in our case, we continue to increase our sales of EVs dramatically. So we're having double sales of EV every month, year over year. It is true that we don't see the industry growing as fast as we originally thought it would be. We remain number 2 in the market, as you can see in this table, despite the fact that we don't qualify for IRA. So we are positive, but it's true the demand is not as high as expected. We are also seeing a fantastic growth of our hybrids, and that's why, for example, we just announced the new Santa Fe 5th generation, which has also a hybrid powertrain. So on the all-electrified vehicles, we see 50% growth. On the EV, we see 100% growth. So we're still doing well.
Wish the same could be said for GM, Ford, and Hyundai's not even benefiting from the IRA. That's a legacy automotive manufacturer that might not need a bailout in the future.
MOTORTREND magazine just crowned its 2024 car of the year. Was it a Porsche, a Mercedes, a Rivian, a Tesla? Nope. The prestigious annual award actually went to the new Toyota Prius. Yep, a Prius hybrid, which MOTORTREND describes as the gold standard hybrid. And joining us now is Edward Lowe. He is the head of editorial at MOTORTREND. He is live at the LA Auto Show with this year's winner. Edward, great to have you on. Listen, I don't think it surprises me. The car is striking. Look, it's so much better looking than the first generation Prius. I love how they went to a 2-liter motor. The Prius is a winner, and you guys clearly agree.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much for having us on MOTORTREND's 2024 Car of the Year, the Toyota Prius, right behind me. Beautiful car, legitimately beautiful this time around. This is the 5th generation Prius. It hits every single one of our awards criteria. It is good looking. It is affordable. Value is one of our criterias. Excellent engineering excellence. You know, this thing gets 57 miles per gallon in the regular hybrid form. If you do the plug-in hybrid, you can go up to 45 miles on pure EV alone. Legitimately fun to drive, which is something we really like to explore at MOTORTREND. We have another criteria about design. And then, of course, performance of intended function. How well does it execute its mission as an entry-level plug-in hybrid or hybrid vehicle? And we think it absolutely nails it. And it's the right car for this very moment when there are a lot of people out there who want to get into an EV, but maybe are a little bit concerned about range and the high cost.
The natural stepping stone from ICE to electric vehicles is the hybrid vehicle. But don't get it twisted. A stepping stone is all that it is. For the next few years, it will have its place, but it's still an internal combustion engine.
Yeah, and Toyota has been the one they've stepped on the proverbial hybrid gas pedal, and they've said hybrids are not only the answer, but by the way, they're better environmentally because you can build 90 of those Priuses with the minerals it takes to build one pure EV. How much Toyota going down this hybrid route could kind of determine, Edward, what GM and Ford might pivot to.
The cost to build EVs is coming down. But to do that, you've got to build EVs. For Toyota, GM, Ford, yes, the cost to produce these EVs is significantly more than a hybrid because you got all your supply chains in order. You have to innovate in order to drive the cost down. If you're not willing to do that, the transition is not only going to be painful, quite frankly, it's going to be impossible. Hyundai can easily make these same claims, but no, they're willing to put in the work in order to phase out their internal combustion engine for the next wave in automobile transit.
It's a very good point, and it's one that Toyota's been making for a little while now, that in the race to electrified vehicles and building ever bigger batteries for ever bigger cars, you're missing the opportunity to actually electrify more vehicles and reduce the carbon load by providing this alternative, which is a plug-in hybrid or a hybrid, where it's a smaller battery, but you get sort of the best of both worlds. Now, I don't know how much Toyota's strategy is going to affect what Ford and GM or others are doing, because some of these guys are fully embraced and are fully pivoted, and it's really hard to change course midstream. And who knows whether right now, this moment of sort of moving from range anxiety to charge anxiety is going to be like the way, in the next year or even 5 years. So I do think everybody is paying attention. Toyota is one of the largest seller of vehicles around the world. When something like this happens, they do pay attention.
What are the odds that the next gen vehicle from Tesla is going to have a lower entry price point than that Toyota Prius? I suppose it's going to take Tesla selling millions of that vehicle alone before people recognize that hybrids are a joke. Well, clock's ticking. Guess you better sell as many of those as you possibly can.
Terrible day. Just a very disappointing day on so many levels. Very troubling. Without getting into the meat of that content, are you selling your Tesla stock?
No, I'm not selling my Tesla stock. I'm an advisor for, lots of people who own Tesla stock.
Whenever Elon Musk makes a comment about what's going on over in the Middle East, a lot of eyeballs are attracted to his statements and comments. Ross is on last call to share his opinion about what Elon Musk should and should not be doing as the CEO of Tesla, which he's entitled to do. Regardless of what he says or does not say, I'm okay with Ross Gerber sharing his opinions about Elon Musk. Ross is a complex human being who's got a multitude of variants and has many complex thoughts on many complex situations. That's just how I feel about Ross Gerber and his opinions on any subject matter. I guess the same can be held true for Elon Musk. He is a complex human being with a multitude of variants who has many thoughts on many complex issues, foreign and domestic. And some would say interstellar. I do my best not to judge a person by a singular thought, a singular action, or inaction for that matter. No one exists within a vacuum. I think I prefaced that enough, so let's continue to what has Ross Gerber's ire.
Many of my clients care about what they own. And so when I have to spend my day basically either talking people out of Tesla stock, or in a lot of cases, I just can't talk them out of it anymore. And not to mention just deflecting flat. I've just never had this with any company I've ever invested in ever in my life, where the CEO of the company himself does so many detrimental things that it just like is destroying the brand.
Now, I could do something weird like put up a list of Elon pros and compare it to a list of Elon cons, but I'm not going to do that. Like, that's unnecessary. I'm pretty sure the Elon pros not only outweigh the cons, but I would go a step further and say his pros are truly invaluable to the progression of our species. The transition to electric vehicles would eventually happen, but they definitely wouldn't be happening today without the efforts of Elon Musk. US space exploration, that was dead. That was effectively dead until Elon Musk comes around with SpaceX. That doesn't occur without the efforts of Elon Musk. And I get it, Elon's quite opinionated, and I don't agree with everything he says or does, and vice versa, he might not agree with everything I say or do.
And it's just, nobody on the board is going to stop him, that's for sure. But the bottom line is that's what's happening. And I'm just not going to mince words about it anymore as a shareholder. It's absolutely outrageous, his behavior and the damage he's caused to the brand. Simple as that.
He's not just the CEO. I mean, he's the founder and builder and face of the company. But many companies, their founders, their time comes and they move on. I don't know if that's the time now, but it sounds like you're saying that Tesla might be a better company in terms of just the way people react to its product and maybe to its stock if Elon Musk, who built it up, were to perhaps step aside.
He's going to have to step aside eventually, but that time's not right now, and we need Elon to be in that position as long as humanly possible. Here today, gone tomorrow, I still don't sell a single share of Tesla stock. The company's on a dominating path for the next 10 years, with or without Elon Musk. But regardless of what the man says on X, every single one of his companies are better with him in the driver's seat.
The truth is, Sully, he already has stepped aside. This isn't about me calling for him to step aside. He has stepped aside as CEO of Tesla. None of his actions are for the benefit of Tesla at this moment. It's all about Twitter and what he can tweet and how many people he can piss off. He actually thinks in his weird world that the things he says matters. But what he's really doing is destroying everything he's built. And that's the super frustrating thing as a shareholder. And just as an investor, one has to look out at the long-term future of Tesla and say, if the CEO is willing to do all this stuff and nobody can stop him, founder, whatever you want to call him, well, what's going to happen to Tesla over the next 10 years? Are they going to achieve their mission if the CEO isn't actually the CEO? Because he's certainly not acting as the CEO of Tesla at the moment.
Short answer, yes. Yes, they are going to achieve their mission. Accelerating the world to a sustainable energy economy, they've still got a long way to go, and it ain't gonna be easy. But they're going to achieve that goal because of the foundation laid by Elon Musk.
There's probably many people out there that are looking to buy Teslas that have no idea this is going on, right? They're not on X, they're not watching us now, they just want what they view as the best-in-class vehicle. But you and I also probably know people, I know I do personally, who've said, I was going to buy a Tesla, but I just can't get on board with anything having to do with Elon Musk. You can disagree with that point of view all you want. Many people still love him, but I think he has driven away some buyers, I think.
It's not just some buyers. And this is what I say, like, to blame interest rates or whatever, we're past that now. We know just because Tesla's forced to continually cut prices on their cars to now a ridiculously cheap level to sell them, that this is 100% because of sentiment. It's clearly the best vehicle anybody could buy for the price. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But why would you have to discount the vehicle over and over again, other than the CEOs talking people out of buying it? So I think we can move beyond this, sort of concept. It's a reality that people are avoiding the brand because of Elon, and it's hurting the company and it's hurting the shareholders.
Let's check back in Q4 and see if Tesla doesn't sell over 500,000 EVs. If that doesn't occur, I might be inclined to agree with Ross that the sentiment has diminished. But that level of virtue signaling is beyond me. I'll show you. I'll drive an inferior car just to spite you. I don't want a single dollar to go into your pocket, so I'm going to make myself suffer. I just don't understand that, but you do you, boo-boo. You do you.
And worst of all, it's hurting the current owners of Tesla vehicles who've lost a tremendous amount of value in the resale value of our vehicles. I think it's somewhere between 20 and 40 billion has been lost by Tesla owners. The people who bought Tesla cars and support Tesla have lost a lot of money in resale value because of this. And this is what I'm trying to say.
I think
it's not a personal thing.
To be fair,
dollars and cents.
Yeah, to be fair, there is a slide there in a lot of the EVs because of the battery concerns. But to your point is well taken. It's a different price point. I get it, unless you're looking at a Model S. But does this benefit Rivian and the $90,000 pickup truck?
Well, it benefits Rivian in a core demo for Tesla. It's obviously Rivian's market isn't the mass Model Y market, but it's certainly head-to-head competitor to the Model S and X. And, these are major products for Tesla that are profitable. They might not be scaled to the level of Model Y, but what's happening is when consumers who can afford, a nicer car are making choices, they're choosing Rivians, and you're seeing them all over LA. It is what it is, and people are choosing other vehicles, and they have, I think Tesla's competition is still well behind them, but people are considering vehicles that they would have never considered because of this. And that's what I'm saying. My personal opinions aside, as an investor, I just want to try to understand how his actions benefit shareholders or Tesla car owners in any way.
Let me help you out here, Rob.
Do your tweets hurt the company? Are there Tesla owners who say, I don't agree with his political position and I know it because he shares so much of it? Or are there advertisers on Twitter that Linda Yaccarino will come and say, you got to stop, man. Or, I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet.
I'm reminded of the scene in The Princess Bride. Great movie.
Great movie.
Where he confronts the person who killed his father. And he says, offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
The cars speak for themselves. Elon is not your car, nor is your car Elon. Enjoy your Rivian, my guy. I don't think Elon gives a shit. The ability for him to say what he wants, when he wants, is his prerogative. Much like it is your prerogative not to be an investor in Tesla. If this is too much for you, there's the door, bro. All this virtue signaling is ridiculous. In conclusion, the UAW deal has been ratified. Kudos. Now it's time to start planning for the next 4.5 years. Hyundai has partnered with Amazon. Gonna be selling those cars online, I see. Maybe Amazon delivers those vehicles for you? The $27,000 Toyota Prius is named MOTORTREND Car of the Year. Enjoy your success while you can, hybrids. It's going to be short-lived. And Elon Musk is doing irreparable damage to Tesla's brand. For those of you that can't separate Elon Musk the man from Tesla the company, do yourself a favor and sell your Tesla shares. I'll be happy to pick those up. That's all I have for you today. Be easy. Peace.